Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I'm going to share with you a clip from a recent Thursday night live event. These are members only, and if you want to be present at these events, you need to check out my community tab on my YouTube page and consider subscribing, supporting at one of those tiers, and then you can be invited to join these Thursday night lives where you bring your questions and comments and I get into it with you. So in this conversation, we're going to talk about how I turned $5,000 into $100,000 with Splinterlands. What were the thought process? What was my approach? What was my confidence at that time? And how did that grow? How am I recreating the same approach today to turn what I've got now into even more in the future? There's so much here. This is kind of philosophical, describing my approach to what I've done here. But I really think there's going to be something meaningful for you if you're getting started in Splinterlands today. So pay attention, apply what you can at whatever level you can, and I think you're going to be benefited. This is something that will, if you see what this is and you recognize the scarcity matters and that these non-fungible tokens and cryptocurrency are yours to keep and that they will likely appreciate with time, that's where the goal is. That's where the exciting nature of this really comes alive. So stick around, stay tuned, like and subscribe. Have an amazing day. God bless. Alex says, Dwayne, thank you for your time and attention. As a man that has grown his account from multiple investments over 5,000 and at one time having a value of 100K, wow, at the height of the games, what exactly, oh, you're talking about okay, gotcha. What exactly were you investing in to reach that level? Improvements for your main DEC, for your main deck, cheap cards, meta cards. How did you dollar cost average increase that substantially? All the best. Okay, so Alec, the big thing that I did in moving my value from $5,000, which is roughly my starting point, might have been as low as $3,000, and it slowly became $5,000, and then there was a short period of time where at some point I bought a tract of land for $1,500 US, and so it was a $3,000, and then slowly became $5,000 with like monthly investments, and then one swoop, one purchase, it became $65,000 or $7,000 because of the tract of land. And so what did I do? I mean, two things. One, recognizing the scarcity of land and having confidence in what the game was doing and how meaningful that might be. And that opportunity was very significant. So that's the easy thing for me to just quickly say. Land. Having gotten lucky, yes, but also recognizing, right? There was a certain amount of discernment that I used, recognizing the scarcity of land and recognizing my confidence in what the game had been doing up until that point that allowed me to confidently purchase that. But hey, I didn't buy more, right? You might have thought, if you're so confident, why didn't you buy 2 tracks or a region? I could have technically, but I didn't because I felt really confident. But I mean, that was the degree to which I was willing to try something that I felt was pretty risky. I mean, I was adding at that time 25% to my total investment, roughly, maybe 30% to my total Splinterlands investment at that time. And so it was a big deal. So land was the first thing. That was that's a home run, and you can't necessarily plan for that yourself. But then again, maybe you can, because possibly land is going to have far greater appreciation in the future than where it's at now. There are other assets too that you might look at. So I would say things like vouchers and SPS are probably new things that could, in 4 or 5 years, represent the same sort of price appreciation that I saw with land. So there are other assets now in this game that are maybe really exciting if you're looking for the next big thing. And you'd have to be super patient, and you have to really understand that there's deep risks there, just like I did when I was getting land, right? But that there's a real opportunity for a big home run in the moment of risk. So land is the first topic and the first comment that I'd give you. And the second thing that I would say, and I've said it before, and it won't come as a surprise to you, it's just the fact that I played this game every single day for 3.5 years. Every single day I was playing, and I was getting these reward cards you see on the screen. I mean, not these guys. It's new. But I mean, I was getting here. This is not my main account. That's why. Here we go. Like, look at these cards. I probably got 200 free exploding dwarfs. It's a 400 BCX card, 500 BCX card. I probably got 200 copies for free. This is an amazing card in the right context, it's very niche. You can't use it in every setting, but it's very powerful in the right setting. Look at this card. Like, just look, go one card at a time here. Exploding Dwarf, so powerful in Equalizer rule set. Etten Spearman, crazy powerful with that piercing and the knockout if you can stun. And the great thing is this 3 speed is fast, but it's not fast, and it's slow enough that it's gonna let some of the stunners land. There's this card, Lava Launcher, that'll shoot first because it's epic. It's got stun. There's Untamed. There's Spark Pixies with 7 speed. It's gonna stun before you get the chance. The Goblin Fireball is gonna stun because it's got 4 speed in common. So there's tons of stunning available, which makes a card like Etten Spearman so powerful. And it can drop, because of the knockout and the stun, it's doing 10 damage with piercing. And that hit points for 8 mana cost. And so many times now, especially at higher levels, you see 99 mana or whatever. This is very functional. Flame Monkey. Speed is so important. And it gives you the speed and a repair. And you know how many great armor monsters are on the fire teams. Ant Miners. I like the Heatsmith these days. Most of them they must be other decks. Well, even Chaos Legion has, of course, Grum and... Oh yeah, Antoine Platoon, Grum, Forgotten One. Repair is so important. And so my point is, these reward cards were being given to me for free. All I did was recognize that the game was fun and had an opportunity, represented an opportunity. And I just made sure I was playing it. I thought of it as a part-time job. Yes, I wasn't, but not in the sense of, hey, this is brutal. Oh, I gotta go to work. It's like, no, I like the game. I'm glad to play it. But also this thing is giving me these rewards that I really think are going to be meaningful in the future. And now I've seen it. And so the second part of my answer to your question is just playing the game every day and earning these things for free. And I feel confident that these cards that we're receiving now are part of that same story. Although it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it right now because they haven't seen any significant price appreciation. In fact, the price appreciation they saw in October, November of 2021 has depleted, has disappeared. And now they're practically dirt cheap. And so in some sense, everyone feels like, oh, these ones are never going to happen. But that's what people always say. That's what people say about Bitcoin. That's what people say about, maybe they say that about you, like individually, you guys have hopes and dreams, and you probably know people in your lives who are like, nah, it's not going to happen. Like whatever that thing is, you want to, become a manager, you want to be a performer, you want to whatever. And it's like, no, it's not going to happen. There's always naysayers, but the question is, what do we think? What conclusions can we draw based on past evidence and based on future confidence? And then tease apart why you have confidence about the future. Because I do. That's not a good reason. That's not like, hey, Dwayne does and therefore I should. It's like, no, Dwayne does. Okay, why does he have confidence? Well, he talks about the developers and how they're transparent. He talks about the developers and how they've shown themselves to have a good track record of making the right decisions over and over and over again. There's been an increasing development and complexity and opportunity that's come out of in the earning potential from the game through that development. Whether it's the rank reward changes and how now we're getting way more chests, whether it's land and how that's going to represent, whether it's SPS rank rewards that are going to soon come to the game, whether it's modern versus wild that's coming out in like a few weeks. And that's just a few. I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, vouchers, validator nodes, the in-game, the spells and item sales that will be generated from the farming of land, and how that will only ever be created and sold by players of the game. rental market and why you can rent cards. That didn't used to exist. So these are all, everything I just listed has been this new addition, this growth of this game. And so I have great confidence in the future of this game because I've seen that they've been faithful in where they've come from and led us to this point. So I fully believe, and I know people doubt this, but I fully believe these cards are going to see similar appreciation in the future. So in summary, how did I go from $5,000 to $100,000? What were some of the things I was doing? You asked like, what cards was I buying, and was I focusing on my deck, or was I investing for the future? Yeah, some of that. I was focusing on my deck. I was investing for the future, all at the same time, trying to do what I felt in any given moment and any given action. Trying to do what I thought would move the needle in the biggest way for the least cost. That was always the underlying principle of how I acted, and it still is. But really, it boils down to two things. One, getting really lucky with land, and it's not entirely luck because it was a discernment process that led me to be confident in doing it, and then to take that risk of buying that tract. And two, recognizing what this game was at an early date, and then just earning these things for free, and recognizing the deferred reward that would come to me over the next 3, 4, 5 years, which, you know, it was roughly 3 years for it to really turn into something big. And now here we are. And to be frank, it's gone down a lot since the peak. You mentioned it was over 100. Here's 50,000 on my main account. And then I have several accounts. They're probably, 5,000, 10, probably 60. I probably have 70 grand worth of cards, I'm going to guess, across all my accounts. So that's $30,000 down from the top. And you might say, well, you should have sold. I mean, I'm not in a game like this, or I'm not investing for the future based on, this is a separate topic, but I almost want to say this too before we move on. I don't invest in this game or in cryptocurrency broadly, or for that matter, bullion, like gold and silver, because I want to get a few percentage worth of bonuses. Like, I don't want to get a 10% win, or even a 10x win. I don't really care about going from 5,000 to 50,000. Like, who cares? That's not going to change my life. But I believe this game has an opportunity to create millions of dollars worth of wealth for me, and maybe thousands of dollars worth of monthly revenues from things like voucher nodes, gameplay, scholar accounts, rental cards, land farming, and so on. And I really believe that. And I could be wrong, but I really believe that based on all the stuff I talked about and the confidence I've grown from the developers. So thank you for the question. And that's what I would say about that question.